Hello everyone, SirMonkeySuit or Zappy here, back again with Kuroko in a Basket Season 2. We are on episode 11, and real quick, just to sort of, update people, I suppose. So today is Tuesday the 29th of September is when I'm recording this. So last week, Wednesday, I started feeling a little bit under the weather, and then the following morning on the Thursday, I woke up and my lungs were like sore. Like kind of like that, almost like if you have like a chest infection or something along the lines of, like if you've ever had flu before, like these are kind of symptoms that kind of show up. And I started feeling better like gradually towards the back end of the week, especially Sunday. Sunday was like it was very slight, and I was like, okay, I'm going to be perfect for Monday or yesterday to record a new show that I was going to be doing, which by the time this goes out on YouTube for the general public, I should have already started, so you should know what it is, but I'm not going to say it out loud because I want it to be a surprise for some people, so just in case something happens, then, whatever, it's still going to be a surprise, so I'll not say it now. But anyway, so I'm not sure if it's got to do with, like, I don't know if I contracted COVID or what, because, I mean, recently, like very recently, we've been in my part of the country in England, we've been put into like a semi-lockdown again because apparently the cases of COVID has risen exponentially in my part of the country. So they put us in a semi-lockdown, whatever, and then since then this has happened. And of course, to people who aren't as vulnerable, COVID can kind of seem like a common cold to some people, and it affects people like in different ways and different variations, whatever. But regardless, I've been kind of under the weather, and I still am. So it kind of was more flu symptomish, last week. Now it seems like it's more of just a head cold. So it's like pressure in my head, congestion, things like that. But I can't hold off. I need to record stuff. So yeah, I'm going to be getting at least this episode out today if I can. I want to obviously record episode 12 as well, but just in case, it depends on how I feel after I've recorded this one, but this one will be out today, okay, so you don't have to worry about that. Anyway, with all of that out of the way, sorry for rambling on, so we are still in the match with Kurosaki Daiichi, the team that I despise, and maybe that was it, maybe because I had to actually record those episodes with that team, it literally made me ill watching that team. Maybe that's what it was. But anyway, yeah, so, Kuroko brought out the Vanishing Drive again. They thought they could handle it. They thought they realised what it was all about, and, to do with blinking and stuff like that. Wasn't that at all. We still don't know what makes the Vanishing Drive actually work. We still don't know what that is. So whether we actually get any information regarding that, it will be against a Generation of Miracles, I'd imagine. It's going to be interesting, specifically when we go up against Aomine, I feel like, because Aomine is the one that, is so... He was the one that was most in tune with Kuroko before, so I feel like that's where it's going to be the most interesting anyway regarding that, but, that's in the future. And other than that, Tepe has, he's been beaten to shit, so, he's been benched, and now it's basically back to the original crew that we had in the first season to go out and beat these guys. So Mitobe is back on, he's playing, obviously, centre, so it's going to be interesting to see what he pulls out the bag, hopefully something good, because obviously Mitobe hasn't had a lot in terms of, he hasn't done anything really flashy, had time to really stand out, so I would like for him to be able to stand out, and also Hyuga needs to start stepping up, which I feel like he will, because he's the clutch shooter at the end of the day. I don't think he's going to go out the full game and not be able to actually land a shot, so I think he will be fine. But yeah, I mean, other than that, don't think there's anything else to really talk about. So we're going to get in episode 11 and see what we get. If you want to go watch the reaction, link is in the description below. There's also the link to the full length if you want to watch it in full and not just the 10-minute cut version, then the offer is there for you. But yeah, nothing else to really talk about, so we're going to get in episode 11, see what we get. So without further ado, let's go. Okay, episode 11, and Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's going to be a very long discussion. Everything was pretty straightforward, but there are a few things. Um, let's just get all of the badness out of the way because I just want to encompass this match in a bubble and forget about it. That's just basically all I want to do. Okay, so yeah, Hanamiya continues to be a big baby about everything. Like, I just think that when it makes it even worse the fact that, like, so he pulled out that move that they referred to as a teardrop, right? Which, yeah, is very impressive. During the reaction, though, I mean, I'm not gonna praise him for anything. Like, he could have pulled out like the most ridiculous move I've ever seen ever in any anime, and I would have had a straight face throughout it because there is nothing that can redeem this guy in any sort of way. I don't want to give him any positive, like, sort of reinforcement into what he does because he's that much of a dick. Like, in terms of a character that is like that has really got under my skin, especially in reacting anyway. I don't think there's ever been a character I hate more than this guy. Like, I hate him that much. I don't even want to say him. Like, I don't even want to associate him in the anime. You know what I mean? Because I hate him that much. But like when the fact that he can pull shit like that out of the bag, he could have been doing that for the whole match, and they could have ended up winning because of it. But because he has this whole fucking fantasy about crushing other people's dreams and everything like that, but he has that in his locker, but he has to resort to underhanded tactics just because it's just makes him that more despisable. You know what I mean? Like, just get out, get out of this anime, get out of everyone's minds and be forgotten to time. No one likes you. Bye. So yeah, he's gone. I'm never talking about him again. Kuroko really came out in this match. You know, he came out fighting, and a lot of that was obviously to do with the you know, the anger, especially what Aomina was talking about. It's like, you've made him angry, you know what I mean? And Aomina knew what was coming immediately, which is you know, obviously with the last episode, he called it out, and yeah, Kuroko didn't let up at all. Like, in every situation, Kuroko was not. I don't think there was a moment where Kuroko was like made a mistake or give away the ball or did anything in that match. I think everything Kuroko did was like perfect in this match, especially obviously when he came back. But even like before that, before he got taken off onto the bench at the beginning of the match, I'm pretty sure that he was effective then as well. So yeah, that was definitely Kuroko's like best game so far. He never put a foot wrong. He came on, obviously, Vanishing Drive. They thought they had it. They didn't. He still managed to get past two. He got past two of them as well, obviously, that one point. And then, you know, dodging the elbow. It completely makes sense because Kuroko's whole thing is based on observation. So, I mean, Kuroko could see that coming a mile away. You know what I mean? You're not going to get him with that. But then also, that pass, man. That one pass where he really like let out his rage. It's always great when you have characters that have that very sort of monotone sort of like, you know, voice where there's nothing much that like gets through in terms of tone. It's just basically like one whole. It's obviously the mystery behind Kuroko, right? Is that like his personality sort of follows that as well. So that any time that you actually do hear a hint of emotion come out, it's a big deal. And there's been maybe a few times, definitely a couple times, where Kuroko's like sort of rage voice comes out, where like you actually hear the tone in his voice like really rise up, and that pass was one of them, which was insane, by the way, especially how long the pass seemed. Now, it could just be like anime perspective, you know what I mean? So it might not have been as far as I actually thought it was, but it seemed like it was another shot, like another pass from one side of the court to the other. But I think what he did was he hit it that hard and I think he hit it under, like sort of at the bottom end of the ball, so that the basketball would like, obviously like it would be in backspin, but that it actually, because of the pace of the ball, it actually rose up which was insane. It was just nuts. I don't know if I just missed it. Like, I'm going to use the excuse of my illness that I may have missed it if it did actually bounce. I don't know if I'm pretty sure I didn't though. Um, at least in my memory, it looked like it literally just took off. So, but it was an insane pass regardless. But yeah, I mean, you could feel the power behind that one. Like, that was just pure unadulterated Kuroko rage in that pass. But yeah, I mean, not just I can't give enough praise to Kuroko um, in this match because he pulled it out at every stop. Even that last point was great. Like, I love how I've said this before in other, I think in mostly in Haikyuu, because a lot of sort of, I guess, shows, especially shonen, can sort of fixate themselves on a moment and like leading up to a moment that should take it should take a second or a couple seconds and elongate it out so that it literally crescendos into a big moment, and it's like that. Obviously the hype is all there, and let's not beat around the bush. That's a lot of what we love that kind of shit for, is that like long drawn out anime exposition and leading up to something that really like feels like powerful and everything like that, and all of that is great. But I think the reason why that ends up working more often than not is that it's not overused. Like some shows may like overuse it, but what I love just as much is offsetting that and doing the completely opposite. So like something that isn't drawn out and there isn't exposition on how it happened. It's just that all you have to go on is the animation and what you perceive just happened over the course of literally real time, not anime time, real time. So that 1-2 quick pass between Hyuga and Kuroko was great because it's just like it just, you don't need exposition on that, but other shows may actually end up doing it. You know what I mean? Sometimes anime can go into exposition for stuff that it's like, well, I don't need to know that. I saw it happen. But like, obviously Hyuga passes it off to Kuroko, and because you don't know what Kuroko is going to do, especially the opposition, it's like you would never expect him to just pass it straight back. Like, just give it straight back. It's great because to the guy that was there marking Hyuga, what he saw was he was looking obviously at the ball that Hyuga had. Hyuga passed it off to Kuroko at what you would probably consider like, just a normal pass speed. So he's following the ball of the pass. And then by the time he's got to Kuroko, the ball's already back at Hyuga. You know what I mean? So Hyuga has the time to obviously make the jump and take the shot. So just something as quick as that, I like just as much. But I think it works, it works well in sports anime. I think, it sort of lends itself well to that, where you can have those moments where it slows down and you build something up and you have exposition on certain things, how they did certain, how they got past the player and how they did this. But, mixing that in with those moments where it's just like, it's something cool to witness, but it's over the span of like what would happen in actual real time. It just gives you a sense of like, like the fast-paced nature of Kuroko. Because I think, if we talk about that a little bit, like, especially it coming from Kuroko, because I think a lot of the time what happens with Kuroko in animation previously is when he gets past the ball, it's always like he comes into the frame fast, like it's just a quick, like, it generally you get the idea, like, when Kuroko's coming, you know what I mean? I think if you went back through all of the matches where, like, where it's like Kuroko's said before, it's like Kuroko starts to get serious, right? And it's like somebody passes the ball and then you see the ball like in frame just on its own, and like it's going towards an opposition player, and it's like, oh yes, here it comes. It's like, yeah, Kuroko's coming in, but he comes in fast, right? So he comes in fast to frame, he passes the ball off, and then the scene, obviously the frames just like they keep on Kuroko for a bit. So it's to give that like sort of, that, I guess, it I guess it puts you in the mind frame of all of the opposition just being like stood frozen in like what just happened because this guy just came out of nowhere and now I don't know where the ball is. I think it's supposed to give you that sort of feeling. So when you see something like that, like we rarely see Kuroko in the game where it's going at real time anyway. Like you never really see him get past the ball and then he just he passes it straight back off. Like the way that they purposefully like animate Kuroko in the show is different from all of the other players, you know. And I guess that's just to emphasize obviously the Generation of Miracles, or the I guess what you would call the special characters, you know what I mean. So like the likes of Izuki doesn't really get that a lot, you know. But yeah, so I just think it was just really, really cool. So yeah, for like just a split second scene, that's how much I love it. I talked about it for a while. And yeah, so the Winter Cup officially starts. I'm glad we got that match out of the way. Like I said before that match started, I know for a fact I wasn't gonna like it. I wasn't looking forward to it. I didn't enjoy it. Like I liked it when it finished, and I can appreciate just the fact that Kurosaki Daiichi couldn't believe it and the look on their face, and that's what I appreciate about that match. Now we can move on. I can forget about it. Winter Cup starts. Now we have the real meaty matches, the ones that actually are fun to watch. You know what I mean? Don't take that the wrong way. Don't you know? Like it's just that I don't like those. It just wasn't even a real kind of contest. You know what I mean? Like it was just a team that didn't. It's like, why even there? What's the point? You know what I mean? Just like honestly, the officials or whoever is officiating the tournaments for all of this stuff should literally just ban them from the competition, because they're clearly not there to play basketball. That's all I'm saying. You know what I mean? I want to see a basketball match, contest, two sides going at it based upon technique, not trying to injure the other team. So I'm just glad we got that out of the way. We can start with the Winter Cup, and Kiyoshi talked about it as being like a special bracket, pretty much the only time this may ever happen, of where all 6 Generation of Miracles are in they're in the Winter Cup. They're all going against one another. And I said during the reaction, I'm not sure how this one's going to go. Previously, I mean, I've said before, like every time I try to, for instance, the meta thing with the last Shotoku game, I was like, well, Shotoku's clearly, they must win. But that was based upon the fact that I didn't think they were not going to do the overtime thing. Like, because in my mind, I was like, yeah, you have to have overtime. I never even considered the fact of like, oh, they're just not going to do overtime this time round for whatever reason. But, so they didn't. You know what I mean? But I just feel like the only one I feel like we have to get revenge on is Toe. Because that's the only one that we've lost. That's the big loss that we've had. And in terms of the other teams, I don't know who goes up against who. I mean, you could have maybe Shotoku go up against Kaijo. That could be a thing. Because I feel like in this season, we go up against... Well, actually, maybe not, because it depends on how they want to work Season 3. Because the Winter Cup could be a thing of, like, it ends midway through the Winter Cup and Serene are still in it, and then it goes into Season 3 and we're still in the Winter Cup, you know? Because I was going to say that we will play Yosen this season. I guess we still could. That could be, like, the last match, maybe. And we haven't seen the brackets yet, so we don't know who we're going up against. So yeah, I don't know then. I don't know. I've got no theories going forward, put it that way. But the one that I think we need to get revenge against is definitely Toho. And I think, however they do this, yeah, maybe Winter Cup does continue on to Season 3, in which case we will go up against Kaijo at some point, which means I just feel like Shotoku's just going to get knocked out immediately, you know? Depending on who else is in there. I don't know how many teams are in the Winter Cup, so... So I guess, like the Generation of Miracles teams will get wins against other teams that we don't know about. But any team that has the Generation of Miracles going up against another Generation of Miracles, I just feel like Shotoku, unfortunately, are kind of at the bottom of the pile. You know what I mean? Like, I've said this before, like, just after the Shotoku match, where I was like, I feel sorry for them, because I just feel like they haven't got their win against Serene when that could have been the perfect time for them to get the win. And because Midorima's is more... Somebody put it perfectly in the comments for that particular, like the end of that particular match, where the person said, let's see if I can find it. He just said, he put it as like, here we go. Yeah, so I got a comment from Larissa who said that it kind of sucks that Midorima got the most restrictive playstyle. So that's the word I was looking for, restrictive. Thank you, Larissa. So that's completely right. I think restrictive in terms of like he's all about the 3 points, and in the very first match we played against him, he's already being able to shoot from anywhere on the court, and it's like, well, how much more can you do? I guess it's just a case of if we watch a game between him and another team, that he could bring out something that could... I don't know. I think it's just because, due to the nature of like Kagami, I mean, they literally did say that Shotoku was just a bad matchup for Serene, just because, and Kagami's a bad matchup for Midorima. So, but regardless of that, I did like how they did play out that Shotoku match. I like the fact of like it wasn't anything special, or Midorima didn't have to do anything different. It was just like, I know what, like, Midorima was just like, I know what you're going to do. Like, I know what you're there for. You're there to stop me, shooting my threes. But I've been doing this longer, and I did nothing but practice, like, just doing it all the time, endurance training. And so it was just like, outlast him. I just wish they got the win. You know what I mean? Because it was a perfect time for Serene to lose, I feel like, because it wasn't detrimental to Serene to lose. You know what I mean? Like, that was the one time they could lose without getting knocked out. So I don't know. I really, really just feel sorry for Shotoku on that one. And in terms of the Generation of Miracles teams, I mean, I know that we haven't seen Yosen or Rakuzan play, but I just feel like Shotoku, we've had 2 matches against them now, 2 competitive matches. We're halfway through season 2. There's only one more season after this. I just feel like we're not going to get I don't know if we'll get like another full-on match with Shotoku. Even like, we may like see bits of like, I don't know, let's say they do go up against Kaijo. Like, you may see, like, I think we'll see bits. I don't think we'll like actually witness a full match like we did against like with Kaijo and Toho, because we focused on Shotoku a lot. So, I don't know. I feel sorry for them though. I just feel sorry for them. But either way, I just want to see the matches against them all. You know what I mean? God, if I had my way, I would love to just have just these mini arcs where every single team with a Generation of Miracles in it plays another match with another Generation of Miracles, and see every single different, just to see how they play against each other, man. But I just feel like we're not going to get that, which sucks, because, I mean, just due to the nature of the show and following the story, following Serene as our team, you kind of just have to make them the focus. So, but anyway, that is all I've got. So thank you for watching. In the description below, I have links to certain things. One of them is the Discord, so you can get yourself over there if you wish. And I also have a Patreon page as well. So if you do want to support me on Patreon, that'd be very much appreciated. There is a bunch of different tiers and rewards there, like early access. The early access tier, $5 a month. That gives you access to shows a week early. So I think I'm going to react to episode 12 now. I think I'm fine. I think I can handle it. So episode 11 and 12 will be out the same, like obviously the same day for the YouTube public. If you want to get access to episode 13 and 14 right now, you can do by being an early access tier patron, and that goes the same for every other reaction that I do. There is also the full length tier, if you want to watch any of my reactions in full and not just the 10-minute version, and then there is the movie tier, or the exclusive tier, which is for movie reactions and things like that when I start reacting to movies, which is coming up very soon, so look out for that. But that's all I got, so thank you for watching. I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.